Yep, I got scared. You heard that. Exhaust manifold is now free. I'll slide that. Whoa! Hey guys, welcome back to Johnny Boy's Garage. This was an unpredicted episode and something we're gonna have to do now. Dakota! Brake failure. Let's find my light. Look at all that brake fluid. Is a problem. Yeah, brakes failed when I was taking my buddies. I was gonna go pick up my buddy that we just did the suspension work on. That failed, so we got this. I'm gonna be getting all new drums, all new hardware, and new shoes. And we're gonna start tearing this hunk of junk apart. And since I have it down and I have new calipers for it, and I'm gonna have to bleed the brakes anyway, we're gonna do the front calipers because they're in stock. So I'll catch you guys when it's jacked up. So let's get started on these brakes. Did the other side first, see what I'm gonna need. And when I say these brakes are fried, check this out. As it sits with the drum off. Hold on. Always unprepared. If I was ever prepared, y'all would be confused. I don't know where I put my thing. My light. So I got another one. So you can see the wheel cylinder pop free. This side is about to follow suit. Lots of metal and stuff up in here. But I'm gonna show you guys how I got this side off with hopefully a little bit less cursing. So with that, let's get to it. Let's go ahead and zap our tire off. I don't actually have the parts to do the job yet. They will be in tomorrow. Just for giggles, I'm gonna see if this thing just pops off. Yeah, I kind of figured. Now, when I say the other side fought me, yeah, just ate the threads off these bolts. But I got more. I don't know what thread pitch this is, but the thread pitch I'm using is a 5/16 by, I don't know the thread pitch. It's a 5/16 bolt, 1 inch long. Then I step it up to 1.5 inch long. I'm gonna get these started. I'm not even gonna bother trying to release the tensioner or spacer, whatever you want to call it, because I tried that on the other side and it said no thank you. This side feels like it's coming easier. This isn't the part that fought me though. It was after these bolts bottomed out and this thing locked up is what got me. Oh, this one comes off so much easier. I'm not gonna lie, the other side, I wanna say, took me about an hour to get apart. This thing just fell apart. That is beautiful. Wheel cylinder's leaking. Not as bad as the other side because it hasn't popped all the way out yet. I'm gonna disconnect the e-brake. And these look like a pretty simple drum setup. So, show you how I did the e-brake. This is your e-brake line. All I did is I push back, gave this a little wiggle, comes free, tuck it up behind the brake line, get it out of your way. It is so hard to see all this stuff because of how covered in dirt it is. So when you're doing drum brakes, take pictures because If you take both sides apart, you don't even have a mirror to reference. So I'm gonna follow my own advice here, and I'm gonna take some pictures of this drum so that I can disassemble this tonight. So I actually figured this side's probably a little bit better to show since it's not so coated in brake dust thanks to all the brake fluid. There's a part of our wheel cylinder. What I did to get the other side apart, I took this spring off. That's free. That loops around the back of the brake pad. Brake shoe, sorry. Now from here, what I did is I slid this off. That sticks up underneath your spacer bar here. Then I rolled this back. I don't know if this side will roll back because it didn't want to earlier. There she goes. Let's give her a little bit of the PB Blast that arse. Lubricate that up. I will be reusing the drum on the other side to save some monies. If this moved a little bit easier, you could probably just spin it by hand. This one's pretty tight due to the spring tension. I think I will catch you guys when this thing is completely loosened up. Now, if you were to be doing these brakes and you could actually get this to spin, I wouldn't suggest going straight to the bolts through the drum like I did. I did try it on this side, and this thing was pretty tight. And I need this truck back on the road. I think all the parts at my local Napa was just short of 400 bucks. I ordered everything. I probably won't use everything. Now that is completely collapsed. So what I did from here, there's one on each side that holds the brake shoe. Took my pry bar, put it right in the bend where it swoops up to make a loop. Same thing, both free. I was having a hard time getting this spring free, so what I wound up doing is I got it free of the wheel cylinder. A lot easier on this side because I'm missing half of it. Then down low, the spring loops down and around that. So what I did was I kind of wiggled it down. I popped one brake shoe out from behind that. Then I popped the other brake shoe out from behind it. It's still caught on something. There it goes. Lower spring disconnected. Now, your e-brake will kind of fight you, this tab. So you have to kind of wiggle through to get that out. Whole assembly came out like this. So what I did from here was kind of pushed it together at the bottom. I don't know if I'll be able to do it on this side. This side feels a little bit tighter. There it goes. So that's free, that's off, and it falls apart. This I'm gonna set up here for the wheel cylinder. The brake line is a 12 millimeter, or at least on this truck it was on the other side. Be careful not to round it out. I may go see if I have a line wrench. Not the biggest fan of a line wrench myself, but I really don't want to have to reflare the line and do all that happy stuffs. That's a 13. So that don't feel right. There she goes. I think she did. Yeah, she's spinning. Start working some lube into those threads, because she don't really want to come. There she goes. She freed up nice now. I gotta go pick up a metric boatload of brake fluid. Since I'm doing all this, I am going to put completely new brake fluid in the whole system. So we got our brake line off. Now, the two bolts that hold it on are a 10. That was almost a knuckle sandwich, courtesy of myself. One. Back on there. She's now unbolted. Last step is get it out of the housing. She's done. We are now completely disassembled on both sides. I do not have parts, so I will catch you guys tomorrow. We're back, and we got parts. Well, there's no parts here. So these are all the parts we got. Got new adjusters, new wheel cylinders, and a hardware kit. Got our brake shoes, and we got 2 drums. Probably only going to use 1 drum, and I'm going to try to use as little of this as possible, just because this truck's transmission is probably not going to live as long as the brake shoes. So I'm trying to make the truck serviceable, not super expensive. So with that, we'll jump over to the other side and we'll start putting this thing together. So we're going to start off with our brand new wheel cylinder. I'm going to pop this cap out. Run you through. Brake line's in the hole. 1 bolt started. 2nd bolt is started. These new ones from Napa come with 8mm bolts. Like how I started it by hand, but I can't loosen it by hand. Get this up out of my way. Now I am snugging these up. They are small bolts. If you smoke them, you will break them, and you will be sad. I want to say the wheel cylinder set me back $25 a piece. The drums were $110, I believe. I'm only using 1 drum. The other side's drum was reusable. This one was fried. I think I should be able to reach around the tires and access the bleed screw. Not 100% certain at the moment. Also not 100% worried about that portion of it at the moment. I'm going to call it there because I don't like the way it feels. If it leaks, we'll come back, we'll tighten it up some more. But for right now, I think that's good enough. I did take the time to kind of prep this side. Oop, I knocked the spring off. So we're going to set, I don't actually need this in yet. We're going to set this in, get this pin lined up, and then we're going to start putting in all the springs that we need to do. So when you're doing these drum brakes, these contact points you should clean. I'm not going to because I highly doubt these brakes are going to be a problem before that transmission gives out. And if they are a problem, I'll come back and fix them. I love these clips. I wish all drum brakes came like that. That is so easy. Always make sure you drop your springs and floor dry. So this one goes down below. I want to say it goes like this. And we are going to set this up so that there's just a hair bit of tension so that we're not fighting this little washer. I'm going to feed the e-brake actuator through this rubber boot. Slide you up in there. What I'm going to wind up doing is there's a lower spring down here. I'm going to hook this and it sits up underneath the shelf. I'm going to stretch it down underneath of that and then set this pad in place. Shoe, whatever you want to call it. And we stretch it around. We're going to line up all this stuff. Our adjuster and all the happy shenanigans. Then we're going to hold that in place. We're going to stretch the spring until it fits. Of course, I did not bring my pliers. So I'm going to get this pin through this hole that I can't seem to find from behind. And I'm going to feed this through. I got it started up underneath. Clipped. Now I'm going to get my pliers and get that spring on. Come on. Come on, girl. Spring is in. So now we're going to run this so that it just snugs up in the brake shoe. We don't want this tight because we still want to be able to put the brake drum on. So now it is just touching. Springs are on. Now this is going to sit on this pin and go up underneath the adjuster. So it's up underneath the adjuster. It's sitting on there. This spring goes in this, and there's a little hole down here on the brake shoe. It goes through the front of this and behind the brake shoe. Ooh, there she slides. Pull it up and down. There's a lot of sliding the other side was. All right, she is in. I'm gonna go get our brake drum, and we are gonna slide our drum on. Got our brand new shiny brake drum. I'm gonna let off as much tension as I can. Come on guys, let's ride the struggle bus together. Oh no! So somehow on the other side that didn't make much of a difference. But on this side, the springs are actually different for these shoes. So I'm gonna have to take the other side back off. But I started reading interchange notes and stuff, and I was like, why does this not fit? And it's because you don't use that spring that I had with these shoes. You use this spring. That even feels like it fits better. Cool. Wow, that was starting to really get under my skin. It's like, why does this not work? So I'll have to take the other side back apart. But yeah, keep that in mind. And when you see this, don't ignore it. Because for whatever reason, they just start showing you all these, and these are interchangeable. I ignored that until I could not get this shoe on. Well, until I couldn't get my drum on. Now time to warranty these pliers out. Now it should fit. That fits so much better. Wow. Maybe if I just read the instructions to begin with, I wouldn't have struggled for the last 30 minutes. All right, I'm gonna fix the other side. We're gonna get the tires on. We're gonna push the truck back. We're gonna do the front brakes. Then we're gonna start a brake bleed. So that we don't put any stress on the brake line, I'm gonna go ahead and take that loose now. We are gonna swap out the calipers. It's probably the loosest banjo bolt I've ever felt in my life. Can't imagine there's that much brake fluid left in this system. I'm gonna stick this banjo bolt up here on the strut tower, so when I can't find it, you guys let me know. At least I knew they weren't coming off. The calipers I actually found in the garage when I started cleaning it up. Forgot I had them. So, figure while the brake system's empty anyway, we can go ahead and do those. Need CV axles and the rest of the parts I have for it that I haven't put on yet. Why you not come free? You're getting silly now. I ain't got time for these games, Caliper. You were coming off. So you can tell, brake pads are new because I only did them a couple months ago. They look hardly used. Now we got Big Berthas. Let's go get the new caliper. Be right back. Wonder how the new video's doing right now. I don't normally film on Tuesdays. That one started. That one started. So as you can see, calipers basically are already all the way back on. Got some crush washers. Brand new. You should never reuse these. So you're gonna take one. Well, you're gonna get your bolt first. Oop, where'd the bolt go? There it is. So always make sure you don't have dirt on this. You're gonna put one on the inside of the bolt up against the head. Put it through your brake line fitting. I don't know even how well you guys can see this. Then you're gonna put the other one on the back side. Start this. I'll explain how I set these here in a second. I'm gonna tighten everything else up. Torque specs or make it tight. For the smaller bolts, make it not as tight. Like one Ugga Dugga, not 70 Ugga Duggas. That's tight. That's how you know it's tight. It slings it out your hand. Real quick, all I'm gonna do is run this down. I don't know what foot-pound that is, but that is currently snug. Every time I set a crush washer, I do this, and I have not had one leak. Now it's loose again. That's snug. That shouldn't leak. I'm gonna go knock out the other side. I'll catch you guys when we're bleeding brakes. We're gonna bleed the brakes. The wheel cylinders we got from Napa are an 8mm. I am simply going to reach around the tire and break these free. Much easier. I don't feel like taking the tire back off because I didn't think about that. So with that, I have an old gravity bleeder here. I don't know if it'll work in the way I'm planning to make it work, but we're gonna try it. Basically, what my thought process is I should be able to hook this up and just hook it up to the brake system. Well, hook it up and pump the brakes, and it should just push fluid out into the reservoir. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm gonna try. Well, I'm gonna get these brakes bled, and that's basically it for this video. I just needed to get this thing back on the road. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you all next week.